The text came through at 2:34 p.m. on a Tuesday. I was at my daughter Emma's school pickup, waiting in the carpool line. My son Jake was already buckled into the back seat, showing me a drawing he'd made in art class. I read the message 3 times. Then I opened my banking app with shaking hands. My vacation savings account, the one I'd been building for 2 years, showed a balance of $247. It had held $15,247 that morning. I'd checked it at breakfast, mentally calculating whether we had enough for a beach week this summer. The withdrawal timestamp, 11:43 a.m. Description: transfer to Linda Chambers. My mother's name. Jake was talking about his drawing, something about dinosaurs and volcanoes. Emma climbed into the car, chattering about her spelling test. I forced myself to smile, to nod, to drive home on autopilot while my mind raced. At home I got the kids settled with snacks and turned on their favorite show. Then I went to my bedroom and called my mother. She answered on the 3rd ring. "Oh good, you saw my text. I was worried you'd be upset, but really this is for the best. You took $15,000 from my account. Borrowed, sweetie. For the family beach trip. You know how expensive these things are, and your brother suggested we all go in together. Well, most of us. We booked that beautiful house in Cape May for the 4th of July week. Remember the one from the rental listing I showed you last Christmas?" I remembered. I'd smiled and nodded while she scrolled through photos on her phone. White columns, wraparound porch, private beach access. She'd never mentioned the address, just kept calling it, that gorgeous Cape May property. The property I'd purchased 3 years ago as an investment. The one I rented out through a management company under my LLC's name. The one my family had no idea I owned because I'd kept my real estate investments private after my divorce. "You used my money without asking," I said carefully. "Well, you weren't using it. And honestly, bringing Emma and Jake would just complicate things. You know how they are. Emma's still in that phase where she cries about everything and Jake can't sit still for 5 minutes. The other kids are older, more mature. This trip is for the adults to actually relax." Emma was 7. Jake was 9. My brother's kids were 8 and 11. My sister's daughter was 10. "The other kids are invited," I said flatly. "The other kids don't have issues, sweetie. Emma's still seeing that therapist for her anxiety and Jake has that energy problem. We love them, obviously, but this is a vacation, not a therapy session." Emma's anxiety had started after the divorce, when her father moved across the country. Jake didn't have an energy problem. He was a 9-year-old boy who liked sports and building things. "When are you going?" I asked. "July 1st through the 8th. Didn't you read my text? I sent all the details." I had. The group chat I'd been excluded from had been forwarding messages all afternoon. My brother and sister discussing meal plans, activity schedules, who was bringing what. All using money stolen from my account. "I need to go," I said. "The kids need dinner." "Don't be upset, honey. You'll thank me later. Sometimes parents need to make hard choices for the good of everyone." I hung up and sat on my bed for 10 minutes, staring at nothing. Then I called Michael, my property manager. "Hey, something's come up with the Cape May house. Who's booked for July 1st through 8th? I heard keyboard clicking. Let me check. Yeah, we have a Linda Chambers party. Booked it 2 weeks ago. 8 adults, 4 children. Why, is there a problem? Cancel it." "Cancel? But they already paid the deposit. That's our peak season rate and the cancellation policy." "Michael, I own the property. Cancel the reservation." Silence. Then, "Are you sure? This is $15,000 for the week. If we cancel now, we probably won't fill those dates." "I'm sure. Cancel it today. Refund the deposit to the account it came from." "My account. Then block Linda Chambers from any future bookings across all our properties." "Okay, but they're going to be upset. Do you want me to give a reason?" "Tell them the owner has decided to use the property personally for that week. Because I am. My kids and I are taking that vacation." "Got it. I'll send the cancellation notice within the hour." I thanked him and ended the call. Then I sat there, phone in my hand, waiting. It took 37 minutes. My mother called first. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. Then my brother. Then my sister. The group chat exploded with messages. Confused at first, then angry. My sister called. I answered. "What did you do?" she demanded. "The rental company just canceled our reservation. They said the owner needs the property." "Did you call them?" Did you complain about us? Why would I call them? I don't know. Maybe because you're bitter about not being included? Mom said you were upset, but this is ridiculous. We lost our deposit and now we have to find somewhere else during peak season. Everything's booked or twice the price. They refunded the deposit, I said calmly. That's not the point. We've been planning this for weeks. The kids are devastated. Emma and Jake weren't invited, I said, so I'm sure they'll survive the disappointment. This is so typical of you, making everything about you and your kids. Mom made a practical decision and you had to go nuclear. I took a breath. Did Mom tell you where the $15,000 came from? Pause. She said everyone was contributing. Everyone except me, apparently. She took it from my savings account without asking. A longer pause. You're exaggerating. Mom wouldn't. Check with her. Then we can talk. I hung up. The calls continued through dinner. I put my phone on silent and made pasta with the kids. Jake told me about his friend's birthday party coming up. Emma showed me a book she'd checked out from the library. Normal, beautiful, uncomplicated. After they went to bed, I checked the messages. 43 unread. The group chat was chaos. My brother had apparently confronted my mother about the money. She'd admitted to the transfer but insisted it was family money, and that I was being selfish as usual. My sister had done the math and realized the rental deposit matched exactly what was taken from my account. Around 10 p.m. my mother called again. I answered. I don't understand why you did this, she said. No apology in her voice, just confusion that I dared to push back. I was going to pay you back eventually. And now you've ruined the whole trip out of spite. You stole from me and excluded my children. Which part shouldn't upset me? I didn't steal. I borrowed. And your kids weren't excluded, they were. It was a matter of fit. The house we'd picked was perfect for calm, mature children. The house you picked, I repeated. The one in Cape May. Yes, the beautiful one with the white porch. We'd been planning. Did the rental company tell you why they canceled? They said the owner needed it personally. Some last-minute thing. But we're looking at other properties now and everything is either booked or ridiculously expensive. Your brother found one for $22,000, but now everyone's fighting about the cost. Why don't you ask the rental company who the owner is? What? Why would I do that? The owner is probably some corporation or investment group. The listing didn't say. The listing shows my LLC's name, Chambers Property Holdings. I registered it after the divorce. The silence stretched so long I thought she'd hung up. That's not funny, she finally said. I'm not joking. I bought that house 3 years ago. I rent it through Michael's company. You booked my property using my money to take a vacation without my kids. You're lying. Call Michael at Cape Property Management. Ask him who owns 247 Beach Haven Drive. Ask him why the reservation was canceled. I could hear her breathing sharp and fast. You did this on purpose, she said. You set us up. I had no idea you were booking my property. You never told me the address. You just showed me photos and said, Cape May. I own 3 rental properties in Cape May. I didn't know which one you'd picked until I called Michael today. If you own it, then just let us stay there. Problem solved. No. What do you mean no? It's sitting empty now. We've already planned everything. The kids are excited. My kids are excited too. Emma and Jake are going to love their first beach vacation. We're leaving June 30th, staying through July 8th. You can't do this. I can. I am. I own the house. My children deserve a vacation, especially since their grandmother apparently thinks they're too damaged to include in family events. I never said damaged. You said Emma's anxiety and Jake's energy made them unsuitable for a family trip. You took money from their future, from their mother's savings, to fund a vacation they weren't allowed to attend. And you did it at my property without knowing it. This is cruel, she said, her voice cracking. You're punishing the whole family because of one decision. I'm taking my kids on vacation with money that was stolen from me. That's not punishment. That's justice. Your brother and sister already took time off work. Their kids have been talking about this for weeks. Then you should have included all the grandchildren from the start. We can share the house, she tried. We'll all go. The kids can work it out. No. You made it clear my children aren't welcome. I'm not subjecting them to a week of being treated as lesser than their cousins. So what, we're just supposed to cancel our whole vacation? You're supposed to find a different property and use different money. The $15,000 will be back in my account tomorrow. Use your own savings. He started crying. Real tears, not manipulation. I don't understand how you could do this to your family. I learned from the best, I said quietly and hung up. The next morning, Emma asked why I was smiling at breakfast. Just thinking about something nice, I told her. What something? How would you and Jake like to go to the beach for a week this summer? Their excitement was instantaneous and pure. Jake started listing everything he wanted to do. Emma asked if she could look for shells. Neither of them asked why now, why suddenly we could afford it. They just trusted that if I said we were going, we were going. I spent the afternoon shopping for beach supplies. Sunscreen, sand toys, new swimsuits for both kids. My phone rang constantly. I ignored every call from my family. That evening my sister showed up at my door. Can we talk? She asked. I let her in but didn't offer coffee. Mom told me about the house, she said. I had no idea. None of yous did. Clearly. And the money. I didn't know she'd taken it without asking. That was wrong. I waited. But you have to understand she really didn't mean it maliciously. She just thought the group dynamic would be better without my kids. Without the complications. Emma's been having those meltdowns and Jake is so high energy compared to our kids. Emma had 2 anxiety attacks this year, both related to missing her father. Jake is a normal 9-year-old boy. Neither of them deserved to be excluded. I know it sounds bad when you put it like that. It sounds bad because it is bad. And now you're here to convince me to give up the house. She sighed. Would you consider it? We could all go together. Make it a real family trip. After you spent 2 weeks planning a vacation specifically designed to exclude my children? No. They're kids. They'll get over it. I'm their mother. I won't. She stood up. You're really going to keep the house to yourself? That's incredibly selfish. I'm taking my children on a vacation using my property and my money, the money your mother stole from me. If that's selfish, I'm comfortable with it. After she left, I checked the bank app. The $15,000 was back along with the deposit refund. I transferred it to a new account, one my mother didn't have access to. The family group chat continued its meltdown. My brother called me entitled. My sister said I was destroying family unity. My mother sent a long text about forgiveness and moving forward, never once actually apologizing. I left the group chat. June 30th arrived, warm and clear. I loaded the car with suitcases, coolers, and beach toys. Emma had her stuffed dolphin. Jake had his collection of shark books. They asked questions the whole drive down. Is it really on the beach? Will we see dolphins? Can we build a huge sandcastle? When we pulled up to 247 Beach Haven Drive, both kids gasped. The white columns, the wraparound porch, the private path to the beach. It was even better than the photos. Michael had left a welcome basket. Fresh fruit, local honey, homemade cookies. A note read, "Enjoy your home, boss." We spent the week building sandcastles, collecting shells, watching sunsets from the porch. Emma's anxiety didn't appear once. Jake's energy found perfect outlets in swimming and beach volleyball with other kids staying nearby. They were happy, exhausted, sun-kissed, and loved it. On July 4th we watched fireworks from the beach. Emma fell asleep against my shoulder. Jake was still pointing out the colors, giving each burst a score. My phone buzzed. A photo in the group chat I'd forgotten I'd muted. My family at some generic rental property, crowded around a small table. The caption from my mother, "Making the best of things. Family finds a way." I deleted the notification and took a photo of my kids on our porch, ocean behind them, genuine smiles on their faces. I didn't post it anywhere. Didn't send it to anyone. Just saved it to my favorites. Some victories don't need an audience. Some lessons teach themselves. And some family vacations are better with just the people who actually want you there. The house, my house, stood solid behind us. An investment that had paid off in ways I'd never planned. My children slept soundly that night in rooms meant for them, in a home that welcomed them, on a vacation they'd never forget. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well. And that week we lived very well indeed.